Welcome to Business and Beyond, the podcast where business leaders and big ideas meet real-world challenges. I'm Julie Wheeler, President and CEO of the BBB serving Western Virginia. Each episode, we will bring you candid conversations, expert insights, and real-life stories to help you lead with purpose, build trust, and grow your business with confidence. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Julie Wheeler, President and CEO of the BBB serving Western Virginia. In this episode, we're discussing why de-escalation has become an essential skill in today's workplace and how the right approach to handling difficult situations can help protect your employees. I'm joined by Marko Galbreath, owner of T4 Tactics and a nationally recognized expert in de-escalation, workplace safety, and active shooter prevention. Marko, thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
For having me.
What a topic. You know, it's when I started my world, my career, you never would have thought of needing something like this. But now it absolutely is it needs to be part of every employer's normal training for their employees.
Unfortunately, it's a needed product.
Yeah.
Workplace violence. We never thought, you didn't really.
Never would have thought so.
You heard back in the 70s and, they went postal, and that's really here now. It's occurring quite
absolutely.
frequently.
Unfortunately. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into this field?
Born and raised in Daytona Beach, Florida. And then I worked for the police department down there from 1984 to 2007.
Wow, okay.
It's hot down there. So
were you actually a police officer?
Yeah, I was a police officer. I retired. I worked in the Special Investigations Unit, which was a major case unit. That was most of my career in investigations. Then I was a patrol supervisor. My last 7 years, I supervised the motorcycle unit in Daytona Beach. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of special events down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of racing.
I always wanted the seasons, and I always kind of wanted the mountains. So my wife's from Philadelphia. That's too far north for me. So we got family that had moved up to Roanoke. And then we're in Bedford, near Smith Mountain.
Forest, that area. Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just love the seasons. And, of course, it's hot out there today, July 18th. It's warm and smoky, but, But
unusually. It's been a unusually warm summer, unfortunately.
Yes, it has.
Makes you feel like you're in Florida.
Yes. Humidity and everything, yeah.
Well, so what made you get passionate about safety in the workplace?
Columbine kind of kicked it off.
Okay.
Because that's a school, but it's a workplays.
Right.
And then Virginia Tech really kicked it off. Virginia Tech was about the time I was retiring and moving up here. And so I had always, in my investigative career, I was a hostage negotiator, so that's getting into people's heads.
Okay.
That's learning human violence, what makes people tick. So I had a passion for it. And then in 2009, I started T4 Tactics. And thought, unfortunately, there's a need for it. It first started out as firearm safety training for the Virginia Concealed Permit.
Okay.
And I really focus on the last thing you want to do is use that gun. You need to be safe, legal, well-trained, reasonable, responsible gun owners. And then I started, I was an instructor at a college in Lynchburg University. And the program director or the campus director said, "Can you put together some workplace violence training for us?"
Sure.
I did it. Channel 13 picked up on it, and my phone started calling
ringing.
the college. Yeah, can you come out to us? Can you come out to us? So I thought, I need to start this.
Right, absolutely.
But in my career, I've always had a passion of keeping people safe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy.
Yeah, well, but sometimes it's easier said than done,
that's right,
for sure.
That's right.
Well, so we're talking about de-escalation. Mm-hmm. How do you define that, and how is that different than, say, just teaching an employee good customer service skills?
It's the art of talking to somebody, giving them respect.
Right.
Most people, to calm somebody down if they're angry, they just want to be listened to. They want to make sure that you're not doing this or playing on the phone, or reading something. They want to make sure that you have their undivided attention, that their problem or issue is very important to you. And because if we don't do that, then we're pushing them away. We want to bring them in.
Right.
We want to calm them down and bring it in.
So those are trainable skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody can learn it.
Do you have techniques you provide?
We do. I have, it's about it's about a 2-hour training, and we talk everything about talking to somebody like this. That's not a good thing.
Body
it's comfortable.
Language.
I do that a lot.
Yes.
But if I'm de-escalating, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to put my hands on my, or I don't want to say calm down. So we
calm down. 2 words you do not use when you're trying to de-escalate a situation.
Right. But if I walked in here, it's not what we say, it's how we say it. If I walked in here and met one of your employees and I said, Better Business Bureau, they automatically think, ooh, he doesn't like me to be. But if I walk in, say the same thing, different tone, Better Business Bureau, right now.
Right,
okay,
now
he
people
likes
are
me, I like him.
Sure.
So it's body language, it's tone, it's how you present it, but my personal feeling is social media has made it to where we can't communicate with somebody.
Absolutely.
And I can get on my computer and blast somebody on their post, and there's no consequences.
Yes.
So I think we've gotten into being used to that. But de-escalation is just so important. But it is a skill that everybody can easily learn.
And if only we could de-escalate social media, or eliminate
just
social media or something.
Yeah, and we go back to talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, so why is it so important that a business owner, business leaders recognize de-escalation as something that they absolutely need to focus on because of workplace safety?
If we have somebody come in and they're angry to a church, a business, a school, and we don't de-escalate them, or we disrespect them, or we bark back at them because we don't have the discipline just to listen to them, if they leave, they could go out to their vehicle and get something and come right back in.
Sure.
Or they could leave, go home and stew on it that they were disrespected, and now they're in the developmental stages of an active shooter. And that's how it works.
Right.
Most active shooters feel that they've been done wrong. They've been disrespected, and now it's payback time. We've seen that in Roanoke.
Well, unfortunately, we sure have. Yeah. I think about the things that we've actually lived within our small community for the size that our region is. It's unbelievable, the horrible tragedies we've had.
And we don't want employees, we're not teaching employees to be punching bags. There's a time we have to say, you know what, no,
time
out.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can de-escalate somebody and bring them in, de-escalation is hostage negotiation 101. That's what I did. It's listening to people, and as they're talking, you're giving them your full attention, and you're thinking about, as they're talking, what are you going to say back? And it's just respect.
Right.
If people feel like they're important, they'll come to you. They'll be your best friend.
Well, so what do you think some of the biggest misconceptions are that business owners have, about what preventing workplace violence is?
It won't happen here. I've gone.
Oh, we're small.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah.
Our customers love us.
Yeah, I had that. We're a small business. Our customers love us. But Fifth Third Bank in Cincinnati, Ohio, he didn't have a problem with the bank. He chose that bank because there were a lot of people in the lobby. So you can have an amazing, you can have an ice cream shop where everybody's happy.
Everybody loves ice cream.
But because there's a lot of people in there, and
just somebody just wanting to make an impact.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I teach my active shooter training and de-escalation training differently because I've gone out to these locations where we've had these attacks. So I've gone to 18 of some of the worst location mass casualty attacks, and I've interviewed 91 people. And you said it, every single one of those 91 people, all different times, all over the country, during that interview, they each said, I never thought it would happen to me. Yeah. Never thought it would happen at my church or my workplace. And so that's the misconception.
Right.
Won't happen here.
Yeah. How does just a routine interaction turn into a potential need for de-escalation or a potential violent act?
Personal experience, I went to a business in Lynchburg to have some printing done. And there's a woman that I work with all the time, Juanita. She's great. She always takes care of me. Well, she's not there that day. And I said, is Juanita working? Because she knows the type of printing that I need. The girl looked at me and said, nope, you'll have to come back Thursday. Turned around and walked off. Would that disrespect you? Would that make you mad?
Sure
and that's where it starts.
Yeah.
It's that little disrespect. And I've got thick skin from my career. I don't let things bother me. It's not worth it.
Right.
But what if I was that person that she just said very, very
matter of fact, just whatever.
Shrugged her shoulders. You'll just have to come back when Juanita's here, and turned and walked off. Wow. Not, can I look at what you have?
Yes, and see if I can help you.
I may not be able to help you. This is de-escalation. I may not be able to help you, but let's at least take a look at it. And if not, I may have to have you come back when Juanita's here. But that's just there was no training.
Right.
Yeah, or she didn't care.
Well, and that was what I was getting ready to say. I think some of it can be lack of training, But I do think there's a lot of people that are just in jobs and don't really
They don't care. And she left me and went
so
right
hard.
over to her phone, started playing on her phone. And that,
Yeah,
that's when
I'm looking for the manager going.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It was handled.
Yeah, it was addressed.
Very diplomatically
exactly.
and with de-escalation skills.
See, and that was the right way to handle that.
That's right.
Well, emotions, frustrations, fear, embarrassment.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've just talked about all of those with this one interaction. This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
If an employee makes a potential customer feel like that,
Right.
You get somebody who's having a really bad week, and you don't know
We don't know what they just did.
Yes.
There was an incident in Lynchburg where a guy did something horrible to his pregnant girlfriend and then became involved in a road rage incident and killed the kid that he was involved in a road rage incident. So you don't know.
Yes.
You don't know that person, and that's why we have to. We don't want to get pushed around. We don't want to be a punching bag, but we do have to remember this person could have just come from a really bad place, and now they're face to face with me.
And you don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's having a little bit.
And we want to treat people like we want to be treated.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Which sounds so simple.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It is. It is so
really
simple.
does.
Yeah.
So, what is an early warning sign that an employee should recognize that, oh, wait a minute, this is not going the right direction?
Again, we teach body language. We teach pre-attack indicators. Mm-hmm. So how they're looking at the employee, how they walk through that door, and they walk right up to you.
So if they come in like with a purpose, that's a potential. Yeah, they're looking for trouble.
There's clues. There's target glancing. There's indexing. So if I have somebody standing here at my desk and they're having a problem, and this cup right here is full of pens, pencils, and scissors. If that person is looking at those scissors and looking at me and looking at the scissors, that's indexing.
Gotcha.
They could possibly be thinking about, and that's one of the things we teach is they could be moving to that next level and they're eyeballing those scissors. It also could be that they admire the cup. So we don't want to overreact.
Right.
But we want to recognize these pre-attack indicators, and we need to de-escalate, or we need to back up a little bit.
And this is about paying attention. It's details, like really just paying attention.
Right. Just get involved, get engaged with people.
What percentage of workplace violence or things that happen in retail, whatever, start as minor things and end up being major things?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, obviously there's some that it happens as a result of the interaction. Uh-huh. Sometimes people come in when they've already got their axe to grind. They know why they're there. But do you think is a large percentage that actually is just, golly, they did not treat me right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I go out to businesses. If they've had a violent attack, I'll immediately go out there and get them back up and running. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when it's been a really bad attack.
Right.
And I went to Baltimore a couple years ago. A guy walks up to the counter and he's got a drink in his hand and he opens it. He hasn't paid for it yet. He opens it, takes a sip out of it, puts it back on. He's in line to pay for it. The clerk said, "Give me the cup. Give me the drink." And the guy just wanted to hold it himself while he scanned it. He just didn't want to do it. And the clerk demanded, "Give me." The clerk physically wanted to hold it. Do you really need to hold it? He's holding the code for that.
Right. So you can be barcoded.
It.
Sure.
Yeah. And the clerk jumped on him with both barrels. The guy threw something off the counter, pulled out a gun, boom, boom, and ended the clerk's life over a barcode and a $3 drink. Yeah. So that's where we teach also. Is it a real big, is it a bit, think about what's important at the end of the night. And what's important at the end of the night is that we all go home peaceful with no drama.
Yes.
So, we talk about that incident and say, was it really important to physically take that from him, to hold it just to show him that you can?
Right.
No, just scan it. He's holding it. He's going to pay for it. So
so he had no intentions of killing anybody that day.
Probably not, but he was pushed into it because you disrespected me. And like you said before, we don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. Sometimes you're just the final straw of 15 other things that haven't gone quite.
That's right, and that's probably what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so obviously there's a fine line, as you've said several times. We don't want people to just take stuff, to be a doormat or whatever. How important is it that a business owner makes sure that their employees know that they're worried about their safety and don't just expect them to always, take whatever's given to them. And
yeah, I think it's very important. We have a lot of the training that I do. I get feedback, and I have people tell me this training was good. I can bring it home to my family. I can take it to my friends. I can take it back to my church. But I think it's important that the business owners let the employees know, and the clients, customers, vendors know that we're doing everything we can do to protect you. And we don't want workplace violence. We want to teach you de-escalation. So I think it's really important that businesses recognize this. This is a needed, and it's not just because I teach it or offer it.
Sure.
But we've got to communicate with people.
Well, and businesses need to take care of their customers and have customer satisfaction, but employees need to know they have a safe workplace.
Exactly.
And
feel comfortable.
And that is their balance.
I'm so careful when I teach not to instill fear or paranoia. That's not what it's about. It's just it's having the education, confidence, skill to recognize something is going sideways, handle it appropriately, and then we win.
Yeah.
A lot of times we can win. A lot of times you can't de-escalate an active shooter. And we're going to talk about their kind of violence.
Yeah. Sure, it's different.
But somebody that's just angry, we can de-escalate that.
Yeah. And we deal with that a lot, obviously.
Absolutely.
We get people that are upset. They're not upset with us.
Yeah.
Or they don't start out upset with us. But, they're upset about something else.
Right.
And we do most of that on the phone. But and you just never... You truly, and I tell people all the time, you never know what that person is going through. You never know. It seems like they're upset over something trivial, but this could be the 10th thing that just is the final one that they are not.
Exactly.
If you're under a lot of stress. I mean, I know me when I'm under a lot of stress, and
one thing
I have a bad customer service experience, and then I have another where I feel like somebody's not listening. I'm ready to scream.
Yeah.
But the one little thing is no big deal. It's just that it's all of it. You pile it on.
And that's what we teach also. When you're de-escalating, look at the person and keep telling yourself, this is not about me. It's about something else that's going on in their life. I used to tell, I had 12 motorcycle officers that I supervised in Daytona. And to be in a traffic crash, it's very traumatic, even if it's minor. And I used to remind my guys, you might handle 15 crashes a day. And
but they don't. They have one in their life.
Right. But that person of one of those 15, that's the most important thing that's probably ever happened, and the most dramatic thing. So treat them like that.
Right.
Treat every single one of them that it's yours and it's a big deal, because it is to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how do you and managers empower employees to set their boundaries and to understand that they still can deliver great customer service, but set boundaries? Is that part of your training?
It is.
Okay.
It is, and we'll go through all these de-escalation skills, and then we have to realize that there's a point where if this isn't working, if I'm unable to de-escalate this person, then I need to back away from them. And a lot of times de-escalation can be used because we're waiting for law enforcement to arrive.
Right.
Or we're waiting for more employees to gather up in case this goes physical and we don't want it to. That's the last thing we want.
Right.
But sometimes de-escalation can be a stall tactic in order to get help.
Gotcha. Well, so psychological safety, how do you almost have to train employees to recognize?
De-escalation takes discipline.
Okay.
It takes a lot of discipline and self-control. You can't let somebody get under your skin.
To you.
Exactly. I tell people, if they're not putting food on your table, don't let them get under your skin.
Right.
And just keep thinking, like we said earlier, look at them and be nice and say, this isn't about me. It's about something else that's happening in their life.
And it's always important, obviously, to report behavior, because you don't know if somebody's going home and coming back.
Yes.
That's always is my thing. Or if somebody else shows up for a different call and they've had a bad experience with the one that was there last week, they need to be aware.
Yeah, absolutely. Who they're dealing with, what's happened before. Yeah. Information. Open communication is very critical in workplace violence.
Yeah.
We've got to have threat assessment teams. Those are non-adversarial, but we've got to have open communication where if somebody hears something or says something, then we can do something about it.
Right.
We're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We may be trying to get them some help that they need. And it could be something so simple as just a manager. I had an engineering firm in New Jersey that I worked with, and they had to print these huge blueprints. Well, every time this guy would go to his desk and hit print, go downstairs to the printer, it would eat the paper. So it would take him about 20 minutes to fix it. And he was getting mad. He was saying things like, I'll show them that they should have fixed this printer, blah, 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 blah. The threat assessment team kicked in, making a long story short. The manager went and met with him and said, look, here is where we ordered that part 3 weeks ago. It's on back order, but it's coming. The guy goes, oh, so you're taking care of it. Okay. Ended it.
Yeah.
But it was escalating.
Sure.
And it worked. That threat assessment team worked because they sent somebody to him and say, hey, it's on order. It's out of our control.
Yeah.
But we are trying to fix it for you.
Right.
Problem solved.
Yeah. I think that is probably, if there's a message to employees out there, it's don't neglect to tell about a negative interaction. Right. Even if you think it may reflect on you.
Right.
Because chances are that person's coming back, or somebody else is going out to that person's home, and
or they've told somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody else has been shit. Now we're hearing 3 or 4 different things about this person.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to look into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are some important or the most critical de-escalation techniques if you've got a frontline person? I'm going to walk into your store and I'm already hopping mad.
I would say, I'm with the BBT and you can't touch me. I'm just kidding. I would look them straight in the eye and say, but sometimes you have to spell out to people that you're there to help them. Mm-hmm. But I would say, I want you to tell me about your problem or what issue you're having, and I'm going to do my best to fix it for you. We're going to fix this right here and now. So right now you're bringing them into you. Again, hostage negotiation 101. You're bringing them into you that you are interested in them.
Yeah.
And then you look at them, they say their problem, even if they curse at you, they're not being very nice, then you repeat back to them everything they said minus the curse words, but you're listing all their problems. Now they're going to look at you and say, wow, I just lit this customer service representative up one side and down the other. They listened to me and repeated it back without the curse words, without the attitude. I like this person. Now we're de-escalating. Now I've got them. They came in here as my enemy. Now with just 30 seconds of them speaking and me speaking, now we're friends. Okay. Now I'm going to help you. And that's de-escalation.
Well, are there certain personality traits people who are good at de-escalation should have, or is it
There's visual cues. Somebody that's really big can set them off right away.
Right.
Somebody overpowering. If I came in here and you're sitting here and I had a problem with you, if I simply stood
over me,
I'm looking down on you. Mm-hmm. And I don't think about it at the time, and you may not think about it at the time, but I'm looking down on you. It has an impact, But if I pull up this chair safely, as long as I'm not going to get kicked or punched, but if I pull up a chair, we're level eye, then people will accept you a lot more if you get on their level. That's why tall people have a problem with it, because you're looking down at them. So if you're really tall, you need to back up a little bit so you're not just overpowering them, because it makes people uncomfortable. We don't want them to feel uncomfortable.
Just takes it up a notch.
It does. All these little body language and all these little cues that a lot of people don't think about, but it's important because they're picking up on it. Right. We have the ability to profile people. We're not talking about skin color, where they come from in the world. We just can look at somebody and say, this person is not good for me, or this person is good for me, or I can relate to that person. Humans are very good at calculating other people, mirroring people, and calculating.
Interesting.
What's going on. We don't think about it, but we're very good at it.
So did you have training? I mean, obviously you had hostage negotiation training, and that's kind of what you've used to de-escalation?
So I was a hostage negotiator, then I became a hostage negotiator instructor. So that's a lot of psychological courses, a lot of college courses to be able to teach it. And then, I worked a lot of hostage negotiation, crisis intervention incidents. But I think most of it was just my police career, just from what I've learned with talking to extremely irate people and saying, wow, I just gave them the respect no matter what they did, no matter what their skin color was, what they look like, where they come from. Everybody, when I first started out in police work, I had some older guys that took me under their wing, and they said, not everybody needs to be arrested, and no matter what they've done or who they are, what they look like, treat them, they're people. Mm-hmm. Treat them with respect, no matter what they've done, until there's a reason not to. But you treat them, and I was like, wow, that's true. Not everybody needs a ticket. Not everybody has to go to jail. Treat people with respect. And that stuck with me.
Well, and that goes for just about everywhere.
Mm-hmm,
it
does.
People you don't have to have a problem with people.
Yeah, you're right.
Just make it work. So de-escalation training is important. How often should employers do it? I mean, is it just when somebody...
With me, weekly.
I heard that.
That depends on employee turnover.
Okay.
If we have a smaller business and people aren't leaving,
right.
I've got a bank that I work with, and they have, there's turnover with the bank, so we're doing it every year, de-escalation and active shooter training.
Right.
So I would say it would depend on the turnover. It would depend on the type of work you do. But most of the time I recommend, if you don't have a lot of turnover, probably every 3 years is a good refresher.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the most common mistakes that employees make when they're trying to de-escalate or they think they're trying to de-escalate a situation?
Ego, testosterone.
Yeah.
They let ego and testosterone control it. And like I said earlier, it takes a lot of discipline to do that, to de-escalate.
Right.
Discipline and control. But the way I look at it is, if I've got somebody coming in, when I was a police officer, if they're really irate and I don't even know them, they don't know me, but they hate me. If in 5 minutes I can get them talking to me, in my back of my head, I just won. I just beat them at a game. I look at it as a game, and let's look at it as a game and see if I can get that person on my side and fix their problem. And you feel good when you do it. Wow, this person came in with just rage, in their eyes.
They're upset about something.
And then I fixed it, and they're walking out. Thank you. Wow. It feels good.
Yeah, that's a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a gift.
Yeah. And everybody can do it. Everybody can do it.
Okay.
But it does take discipline, because you can't let them get under your skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which, again, you don't know where that employee's coming from either.
Exactly.
And that's
it's so easy. You're having the employee's having a bad day, and here they come.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Active listening, obviously, is huge in trying to de-escalate, prevent, and I don't think that's necessarily easy to train. Do you do like exercises? We
do some practical exercises. Most of it is be very careful what you do. If a lot of phones have apps where you can take notes. Well, if somebody comes in here and they're angry,
you pull your phone out.
If they see me taking notes on what they're saying, okay, I'm listening to them and they're actively involved in what I'm saying. But if I get out my phone to take notes, I need to tell them, give me 2 seconds, I'm going to pull up an app that allows me to take notes on what you're saying, because I want to write it down, because I'm going to handle it for you.
Right.
But sometimes, again, you got to spell it out.
They assume you're texting your boyfriend or girlfriend.
That's the worst thing you can do is pull out the phone, because now you've told them an email or the time or a text message or social media is more important than them.
Right.
Now they're moving away from you angry.
Right.
And that's not what we want. We want them to move, not physically closer, but emotionally we want them to move closer to us.
Can you give me a real-life example where de-escalation has prevented what could have been a very violent?
I've got a lot of examples where companies have called me and said, let me tell you what happened here. One was a board meeting where they were releasing a CSO or a CEO, and it got very heated with a lot of threats, things thrown around the room. Somebody that had taken our training stepped up and de-escalated. Fine. It just stopped.
Wow.
Just because that CEO needed, to know that they needed to be listened to. There are alternatives. We're not just kicking you out. We're going to help you find, different placement. We're not going to give you bad references. And it really just turned around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you find that certain industries have higher risks of violence or, customer-driven?
My biggest clients, the ones that keep me busy, North Carolina, Texas, all over the country, construction companies and road crews.
Okay.
Just because there's that volatile, I don't want to say mentality, because I don't think that's the right word, but there's that volatile personality that tends to come with those guys. And I've had business owners and construction guys say, we've got some roughnecks here. They like to fight. So that's our first emotion. Our primary emotion is anger. Anger is very easy to go to. Mm-hmm. What we need to do is skip over that and go to calm. And sometimes that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Anger doesn't take any training. You just go with the flow. You start cursing and yelling. That's easy.
Right.
Calm. We need to flip over to calm, because anger is short-lived. It's violent. But calm is going to build more of a rapport, and it's going to bring people in. So, but that's that type of industry, along with customer service. Banking is a big one.
Oh, okay. That's what I ask you.
Banking and medical. because there's a lot of emotions in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of emotions
with finances and your health.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You've lost a loved one. Somebody's been told they have a severe illness.
Yeah.
There's mental health facilities at that hospital. There's pharmacy. There's a lot of things that are going on at a hospital where we need to de-escalate.
Right.
Yeah. Just to understand people.
Yeah. The empathy. That thing of
and the awareness. Read body language. Yeah.
Sure.
Watch people. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm trying to de-escalate a situation, and it's obvious I'm getting nowhere. What do I do?
If the violence is building or staying at that same level, then you need to back away, and that's where we have
help. Call in help.
Yeah, and that's where we have a plan where if somebody sees I'm trying to de-escalate somebody and it's not working, somebody needs to recognize that and maybe call law enforcement or security, but it's not going to work. We're trying everything we can do, and we're not seeing a change in this person.
Yeah, because not all. I mean, while the majority can probably be de-escalated,
right.
Depending on where the other person is.
Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
The drugs and alcohol may be restricting them from de-escalating or common sense thinking.
Right. So if they get to that point, that is when you bring in security or law enforcement and
again, we don't want our employees to be a punching bag. So there's that fine line of if I can give you the respect you want and if I can de-escalate, then that's what we're going to do. But there's going to be a point where sometimes there is a point where this isn't working.
Right.
And we're at for personal safety, we're going to have to back away. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're at the end of all my questions, but do you have advice that you would give to business owners to help them prevent workplace violence? Don't assume that it's never going to happen to you. That's the first piece of advice. Beyond that, what's the...
Recognize that workplace violence is a reality. Unfortunately, it does happen.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And with T4 Tactics, I don't come in and base it on fear. I do a lot of jokes. I make fun of myself during the presentations. It's very light. I suggest that when I'm training the employees, they can eat, they can snack, get up and use the restroom, make it as light as possible. But it's not about scaring people or fear, but it's just having trained. If we don't train and something happens, we don't recover from it. If we do train and something happens, we can handle it. And so, it's once the storm hits, the time to prepare is over. We can't do anything about it.
We say that all the time. Yeah, we want to do it
it's just being prepared, and let's hope it doesn't happen. But for insurance reasons, legal reasons, and to reduce injuries and save lives, we want to de-escalate.
Right.
And just customer service. We want that customer to come back to us and not go across the street to the other business.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you have shared some great stories and great information, and I think we all can obviously take some nuggets away. Mm-hmm. I think you're doing a service all over the country, and we greatly appreciate that.